Hi everyone. In the last video, we had a look on how these buttons and switches actually work, especially the push buttons work. That actually is a part of our digital input series in the Arduino tutorial. So I want you to follow up everything properly so that you can understand this tutorial as well. So let's have a look on the aspects of this tutorial. So when we take, let's say we are using a switch or something or whatever, push button or something. Now you know the connection. Even though, yeah, basically now you know somehow you know the connection. Still there is not the complete connection, but you know something, right? You know how to connect a push button, 2 pins and 4 pins and all, like the terminals, how to connect and all. So the thing is, that is not complete, but before moving to the next step, we have to understand something. So when you are taking, let's say using a switch or any digital sensor or anything, when you are taking a digital input in a particular pin, let's say about pin number 2. So you are connecting a digital sensor or switch or create a proper connections to the particular pin, okay? And then before, let's say you are going to read its digital state. So that is why I explained you the code at the beginning. So you digital read and you pass pin number 2, right? And you assign it to an integer variable. So it can be either high or low or 1 or 0. The input can be, the digital input for the particular pin can be high or 0. But my question is, let's say you connected a sensor, okay, or switch or something, digital input source to the pin, Arduino input pin. So you can, let's say pin number 2, read the, so that you can read the digital input values. But my question is, if there is no input coming from the sensor at the moment, or switch, the digital input, whatever source, what is the current state of the pin? What is the default state of the pin? Let's say you don't connect any inputs and you are trying to default see what is the digital input state, digital state of the pin. Let's say you are taking pin number 10 randomly without doing anything. What is its state, input state? Will it be high or low? So, or maybe output state, whatever the state it is, the pin state. Maybe you can give a ground pin, connect to the ground pin, then it will become low. Maybe you can connect a 5 voltage pin, then it will become high. In case you don't connect anything to the particular pin and you digital read the pin value, that means what is the pin's state, high or low? What do you think, the default state? So there's a problem, we don't know. So if you say the pin state is high, then if I connect an LED and I ground that LED to a ground pin, the LED should be on. You can try that out, it will not work. LED should not be on. So now you may say it is in low state because LED is not on. Then what I will do is I will connect the LED to 5 voltage and I will take that negative terminal and put inside this particular pin because it is low, right, according to you. So then also you will find most probably the LED will not be on. You get what I am talking about, right? So that means low means you can connect the resistor to the LED's plus point and you can connect the other terminal of the resistor to the 5 voltage of Arduino. The ground terminal of the LED can be, you have to put inside that particular pin. If it is low, then it should be on, right? The LED should be on, right? Because one side is 5 voltage, other side is low means ground. Most probably this also will not happen. So at the beginning, at the default conditions, we don't know the pin's default state. It is neither high or low. So you can measure the voltage and you can see, maybe you can get some random voltage. I don't know actually. Okay, measure and see, you can see a middle voltage or something. I don't know. But it cannot be either high or low normally, right? We cannot say what is the state. So that's why we are saying at the beginning the pin state is undefined because we don't know. We didn't give any input states. We didn't fix any states. We don't know the state of that particular pin at the beginning. If I ask you what is the I show you a random Arduino Mega and I am asking you what is the state of the pin number 5 digital state, is it high or low? You don't know because it's undefined. Nobody knows. You get the point. So the problem is if we are connecting any digital input source or sensor or switch or anything to the particular pin, okay, if you are connecting a digital input source to the particular pin so that we are going to read the digital input value of the source to the particular pin, first we cannot have that pin at the beginning in undefined state. That means before the sensor is connected or before the input is coming to the particular pin, the pin cannot be in undefined state. You should understand that. If you want to take a digital input value to the particular pin, before the input comes, the pin should be either high or low state. It has to be in one of the state at the beginning. Okay, that is rule. Then only you can get that input. So if the input is high, this high will, both the highs are no problem. It will be high. If the input is low, we will have a setup so that this high will become low pins. the pin's high condition will be changed to low. You understand what I'm talking about? So this diagram can explain you this. So have a look at this graph. So we cannot have undefined state. Look at number 1 scenario. The pin is initially at high state. Okay. So if you are now you let's say you are connected a source, and now a signal coming from the source, let's say ground signal. So now there are circuits to avoid that short circuiting, because high and low cannot meet. But let's say we have a circuit or something. So now the ground signal is coming. So this high will fall down to 0. Now we can understand, okay, some input is coming. Let's say you are pressing a switch. Then the pin was in high state. When you press a switch, maybe it is connected to ground. So now you can see the high in the graph, the high falls down to low. So then we can understand, okay, the switch is pressed. Then we can read, like, okay, if you read this, when the switch is pressed, it will become low. It will show you 0 values when you serial print the value. And also there's another way. We can have that default state as ground. That is also possible. Earlier we had the default state as high. Even before we connect the sensor, we had or switch, we had the state as high. Now in this system, we will have a state as low, initial state. You can see. Then when you press a switch, or when you give an input from a sensor, let's say something happens, and when the input comes, it becomes high. Okay, then we can understand, okay, there's a change, state change. So once the state change happen, if you know if condition, we can switch on an LED, or simply we can serial print the values, digital read and serial print. So it will be ground, and suddenly when the input comes, it will become high. Maybe what if the ground input comes, low input comes, still it will remain as low. So even if you read the values using serial print, you will see, okay, it keeps as the way it is, right? If it was 0 and continuously it is 0. If it becomes, when some input is coming, positive input is coming, or +5 input is coming, so it becomes high, then you will see in the serial monitor it becomes 1. But you cannot have the pin in the undefined state like in the scenario 3. It will not happen. So either you should have it ground at the initial, you should have it in positive state. Even before you connect your whatever the input source, you have to have your particular digital pin either in high or low state. It is a rule. Okay. So if you don't understand that much, don't worry. Only you have to understand at the initial state, even before you are giving a digital input source to your particular pin. Even before you are giving an input to the particular pin, you have to make sure that pin is either in high or low state. Okay, by itself. Okay, or you can create some connection circuit diagram and make it sure. You cannot have it in an undefined state. So first I will make the pin high, and then I will try to get that input and see whether high or low, and see whether this input is changing or not, changing the pin state or not. Then I can read and understand it. So just remember that the pin has to be either high or low state, but it cannot be in undefined state. So using that, what we can do is using that to make it happen, right? The pin has to be high or low status. And also we have to understand, even the pin is at high by ourselves, and suppose a ground input is coming from the sensor. So high and low may meet. So it shouldn't be so short circuiting. You understand what I'm talking? The same scenario may happen if we make it ground at the beginning, and the high input is coming from a digital sensor. So maybe switching is also a method, right? So maybe switching, high is coming. So now also high and ground meets. So this may cause short circuiting. So we may have to create a proper circuit to make it happen. Like the circuit should be able to give a default state to the pin at the beginning. Then the circuit also should have that whatever we should be able to connect whatever our sensor or switch to the particular circuit, so that we can digital read the values as well. So even though we have at the initial state is +5 and input is coming as ground, that circuit should be able to prevent short circuiting. So hope you can understand. Even if you don't understand, if you understand just one thing, we should have a default state for a particular pin using some methodologies when it comes to digital input concept. If you understand that much, you may rewatch the video and try to get some idea. So anyway, to make it happen, okay, I said about some circuits, right? To make it happen, like you are connecting the sensors, and also we are keeping that initially we are giving that whatever the default state as high or low. So to do that, we have two mechanisms. One is called pull down mechanism and one is called pull up mechanism. So what we can do is we can have a look on that particular mechanism using switching example, right? Switch is also an input, right? If you're pressing a switch, an input signal is going to the whatever we call pin, right? Either high or low, whatever. Or if you are pressing a switch in home, an output of light is happening, right? Light is on or light is off. So switch actually is an input. So using switch methodology, we will have a look on how to implement pull down and pull up circuits in order to reach out our targets. Actually, these graph scenarios. So we can say we have an initial state for our pin, and with an input, switch input or something, we can change the state. Okay, if the input comes, state may change. So how can it be happening, right? So pull down and pull ups, we will have a look on the next video. So if this video is unclear to you, it may happen, right? Unclear to you, just you can rewatch it and just move to the next video. There will be an example there, pull up or pull down, one example I will do. So then if you watch both, you will get some clear idea. So don't worry much, try to grab the things, move with your own pace, right? You can pause the video, think and proceed the video. And even if you don't understand, watch the next video and come back to this video again, then you will get some idea, right? So until then, I will see you again, guys. Have a great day ahead and consider subscribing us. Bye.